The OnePlus 3T, the phone that launched almost about 4 months ago, still remains to be a very competitive device on the market today. Be it the price or the specs, OnePlus has it all figured out with the OnePlus 3T. But the main thing to worry about is this device still fit for a fresh purchase now in 2017? Let's find out. So the OnePlus 3T, even though has aged 4 months now, still seems to have not aged at all. I'll explain this just now. So the internals of this device, as I assume many of you already know, are beastly. The not anymore latest Snapdragon 821 chip, clocked in at 2.35 GHz, does wonders when it comes to literally anything at all. Gaming is not a very difficult task for the phone to handle, and running the day-to-day apps is like a piece of cake for the 3T. The best thing about this device is when it comes to the performance, aside from the smooth animations and the super quick app opening speeds, is indeed the RAM management. 6 gigs of RAM is definitely more than enough for the remaining year and maybe also for a good big chunk of 2018. This 6 gigs of RAM keeps every running app in the memory, making multitasking an absolute breeze and a very enjoyable experience. What really adds to this hardware is the software. The OnePlus 3T runs on Oxygen OS 4.1.1 as on May 30th, that is based on Android 7.1.1 Nougat. As far as I know, the 3T is one of the quickest phones out there to get the Android N updates. Great job by OnePlus. But what's not so great about the software is that the experience has been quite inconsistent on the basis of satisfaction. The Oxygen OS 3.5.4 based on Android M was way better in terms of battery life and overall performance as compared to the Oxygen OS 4.1.1 based off of Android Nougat. But this doesn't mean that the new updates are any bad. They have fixed a lot of issues. The phone still performs exceptionally well in terms of battery and day-to-day use, but the only thing is that it's not as good as its previous self. So for instance, the phone has gone ever so slightly buggy and you can max out at a 6-hour SOT or maybe a 6.5-hour SOT if you're really lucky with the medium usage, as compared to a massive 7.5 hours of screen on time or even 8 hours on the Android Marshmallow. Such small things do count, at least for me. OnePlus is pretty quick with their updates, so I expect all these current issues to be solved in no time. Let's get on with the build of the device for a second. So this device screams metal everywhere. The body, power key, volume buttons, and heck, even the freaking earpiece is made up of alum. Combine this build with a thin body and it creates one of the most desirable smartphone bodies of all time. I wish only if they also had a sandstone black OnePlus 3T. How cool would that have been? Anyways, they have taken out the matte black version of the OnePlus 3T to compensate that desire quite a bit, and also sandstone cases have come out for the phone itself so that the native OnePlus users like me can feel just like home. Speaking of feeling like home, the device still has a 1080p display. However, that's not a bad thing at all. While PPI lovers may be quite finicky about the OnePlus 3T's resolution, the OnePlus 3T's amazing performance is hugely because of that display. The processor that currently pushes very nicely through the 2K panels on the market outperforms itself while pushing way lesser pixels with a 1080p display. Similarly, the GPU tends to exert lesser pressure on itself while performing tedious tasks. On top of that, this is an AMOLED display. So in pitch black areas, the CPU and GPU don't need to render those black areas at all because the pixels are simply shut down. As a huge plus to all this, the display is absolutely gorgeous. The contrast and the saturation of an AMOLED is the best in the game of 1080p's. I'm ready to put my foot down after claiming the fact that this phone will stay young even when the others are aging like crazy in the coming years. The RAM, display, CPU and the GPU combination is too good to kill anytime soon. The cameras on the OnePlus 3T have been doing their job very well. Initially, while the phone was running Android 6.0, the camera was not so good in low light or artificial conditions. The image stabilization wasn't very good either, but now after the Android N update, the story is drastically different. The low light imagery has really taken a bump with a lot lesser noise. Natural light photography has always been a paradise on this device, with those punchy colors and that wide aperture giving a good depth of field to the overall image. The camera does have all the basics up its sleeve along with a very impressive manual mode this time around. So you have the option to take full control over the camera and also shoot in RAW if you really want to. Moving into the battery department for a bit, the dash charge absolutely blows it away by doing a full charge in almost an hour. The battery lasts an entire day with no problems at all. Dash charge has to be the fastest way to charge a phone on the market as of now. In the big picture, the OnePlus 3T is a phone with great cameras, a gorgeous 1080p panel, a super quick fingerprint sensor, super fast charging speeds, a big battery, and a great combination of top-notch hardware and software. In a nutshell, the OnePlus 3T is a very capable device. Even without root access, the phone is blowing away its competitors. Although rooting can unlock some extra capabilities, but for the majority population, the phone is an absolute beast right out of the box as well. But the main question here is the OnePlus 3T still worth buying in 2017? And the answer is, well, yes, it's very well worth it. But it's not going to stay the latest forever. We will be seeing the OnePlus 4 or the 5 this year along with many other smartphones. The phone will age but still remain very tough to beat in its own price segment for a very long time. It's going to be a worthy investment that will definitely keep the owner's head up high at all times. I guess that will do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, the links to get a OnePlus 3T will be in the description down below, so check that out. And as always, I'll catch you guys later.